City Hall was louder than usual that morning. Marble floors echoed with hurried footsteps, aides whispered into phones, and journalists clustered near the main chamber, waiting for the mayor's big infrastructure announcement. In the middle of all that movement stood a black woman in a navy blue coat. She wasn't rushing, she wasn't talking, she wasn't trying to impress anyone. She simply stood there, calm and observant, holding a slim leather folder under her arm. Her name was Evelyn Brooks, and no one knew who she really was. A few city employees glanced at her and looked away. Others stared a second too long, clearly wondering why she was there. She didn't look lost, just quiet, confident, and completely unbothered by the stares. Officer Daniels noticed her almost immediately. He had been assigned extra security that day. High-profile meeting. Media everywhere. His job was to make sure only authorized people were allowed near the chamber. He watched her from across the hall, no badge, no staff, lanyard, no visible escort. He frowned as he approached. Evelyn sensed him before he spoke. Years of walking into rooms where people underestimated her had sharpened her awareness. "Ma'am," he said sharply, "can I see your credentials?" She turned slowly, meeting his eyes without fear. "I'm expected," she replied calmly. "That's not what I asked," Daniel said. "This area is restricted. City officials only." Evelyn offered a polite smile. "I understand." Well, he extended his hand ID. She reached into her coat and handed him a simple, state-issued identification card. He looked at it, then frowned deeper. "This says Evelyn Brooks. There's no title listed." She nodded. "Correct." Daniel scoffed lightly. "Ma'am, this meeting is for elected officials and department heads. I'm going to have to ask you to step outside." Around them, conversation slowed. A few people subtly turned to watch. Evelyn remained composed. "I believe there's been a misunderstanding." Daniel's tone hardened. "There hasn't. You don't have clearance." She glanced past him, toward the chamber doors. "The mayor is expecting me." "That did it." Daniels laughed, not loudly. "But enough, ma'am," he said, lowering his voice. "Everyone important says that. Please don't make this difficult." A city aide whispered to another. "Why is she arguing with security?" Someone muttered. "She doesn't look like she belongs in there." Evelyn heard everything she always did, but she didn't raise her voice. Didn't argue, didn't panic. She simply said, "Would you please let the mayor know I've arrived?" Daniel shook his head. "That's not how this works." He stepped closer. "You need to leave the building now." Evelyn spread through the hallway. Evelyn exhaled slowly. "I'll wait," she said softly. Daniels reached for his radio. "I'm escorting an unauthorized individual out." That's when the chamber doors opened. The mayor stepped out, mid-conversation, laughing with several council members until he saw her. His smile vanished. He stopped walking. "Hold on," the mayor said. Everyone froze. His eyes were locked on Evelyn then. To the shock of every person in the hall, he stepped forward quickly. "Governor Brooks," he said loudly, his voice filled with surprise and respect. "I didn't know you'd arrived already." The air dropped out of the room. Officer Daniels' hand fell from his radio. "Gig," someone whispered. Evelyn turned slightly toward the mayor and smiled. "I thought I'd arrive quietly," she said. "Observe first." The mayor shook his head, embarrassed. "I should have known." Daniels went pale. I'm sorry," he stammered. "I didn't." The mayor raised a hand. "Officer," he said firmly, "do you know who you just tried to remove from City Hall?" Daniels swallowed hard. "No, sir." "That," the mayor said, turning to the crowd, "is Governor Evelyn Brooks, the woman who approved the funding that keeps this city running." A ripple of shock moved through the room. Journalists scrambled. Cameras lifted. Whispers turned into gasps. Evelyn stood still, calm as ever. Daniels' voice cracked. "Governor, I sincerely apologize. I was just doing my job." She looked at him, not with anger, not with pride, but with something quieter. "I understand," she said, "but doing your job should never require suing who belongs where." Double quotes. Silence. The mayor cleared his throat. "Governor Brooks has been visiting cities unannounced. She wants to see how people are treated when no one thinks she matters." That hit hard. Evelyn turned to the watching staff, aides, officers, and officials of power. She said calmly, "It's not about recognition. It's about responsibility." She looked back at Daniels. "Today it was me," she continued. "Tomorrow it could be a citizen without a title. Treat them better." Daniels nodded, eyes down. "Yes, ma'am." The mayor gestured toward the chamber. "Please, governors." As Evelyn walked past, people stepped aside instinctively, not because of fear, but because of respect they hadn't given her 5 minutes earlier, inside the chamber. She took a seat. No announcement, no dramatic entrance, just quiet authority. Later that day, a photo went viral that showed Evelyn standing alone in the hallway moments before the mayor recognized her. The caption read, "Never judge importance by appearance. You never know who's standing in front of you." And across the state, people felt it, because the most powerful person in the building hadn't demanded respect. She had revealed why it matters. Moral true authority doesn't shout, brag, or demand recognition. It walks quietly and exposes how we treat others when we think no one important is watching.